I'm sucking broccoli sprouts out of my teeth right now, which is very, very appealing, especially directly into a microphone. But this is a new episode of the podcast. I think I need to come up with a new way to say that this is a new episode of the podcast. So any ideas, I'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. I don't know why we say shoot us. Don't shoot us an email. Send us an email at energyislovepodcast.com. Click on the contact button up at the top and reach out and tell us something. We love getting feedback from the listeners. So let us know what you think of, I don't know, the latest episode. Oh, on the previous episode, then this episode, on the last episode, the experiment. I had to tell you a little funny story real quick. Originally, we were going to call that episode March Madness because during the month of March, when we did not have sex consciously, willingly, it drove both of us mad at some point or another. Hence, March Madness. But when I went to upload the episode and title the episode, I hurried up and double-checked, and turns out March Madness is trademarked. So thanks for that, NCAA. Anyhow, here we are with a new episode. This one is super awesome because we recorded it on location on our actual anniversary in the back of our van in the middle of nowhere after having after having soaked for a good long time in some natural hot springs in the middle of, I guess it would be called a desert. It's totally a desert. In the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere in Utah. It's a little hot springs called Baker Hot Springs. You can Google it and find out more info. But if you've never been out there and you live here locally in Utah, I highly recommend checking it out. But this is a fun episode. And we kind of laugh and joke quite a bit. And we definitely sound like we're high and or drunk, which we were neither. We just got to sit in the back of the van and relax, and we were super chill. And it was very, very relaxing. Very nice. So you guys get to sit back now and relax as well. Maybe you're in a hot springs listening. That would be super cool. But be careful you don't drop your phone or something. So sit back and relax. Turn it up. Because here we go with another episode of the Energy is Love podcast with Steph and Craig. Enjoy.
You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is Love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is Love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
I had started inhaling, so I just kept a very steady, slow inhale, and I thought, oh, that's going to hit my limit. What was that like little sound?
It's just feedback that gets picked up through the wires and through the cords and stuff.
I haven't heard it before.
Well, because oftentimes we don't get it.
All right. It's weird. I don't know what to do without having to disclaimer about angel snoring.
Well, we have to bounce around some mics some more.
How's that? I'm going to pop this one up just a titch.
I hate the way that shit sounds when I go back and edit.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I just did it to my mic stand. Yeah, we don't have to have the Are you okay?
Yeah.
We don't have to have the disclaimer about Angel. But we are on location.
We're on location.
And
what's the location? What's that song? It's like Destination. No.
What's what song?
I forgot, and I got distracted with the chords moving, and I don't remember where I was going with that, so we can forget
Destination, location.
You can take a picture of me in my blanket, looking all...
Yeah, we're on location,
okay.
recording
Why
live.
isn't it you? I'm so ready.
You said you don't.
Well, don't use that picture then. Why am I so loud?
You're not that loud.
I'm like slumming back. You have to remember, we made an agreement about the pictures. You can't catch me like with my...
Catch you outside? Catch you what?
Is it catch me outside, or is it cash? It's like catch me outside.
I don't think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure it's catch me outside. How about now?
How about now? You want to step outside?
Baby.
You want to take this outside?
We are on location.
Yes, we are. You're distracted.
At Baker Hot Springs in, is this technically Delta?
Technically, I think so. She's got her clothes back on, so why are you so distracted?
Because there was movement. That's all.
Should we tell?
Baker Hot Springs. That's what it's called.
Yes.
And
but I don't want to say too much about it.
you don't want to disclose our location?
No, I don't want it to be. I like that it's pretty not overcrowded when we come.
I'm fairly certain the people that are listening who live in Spain will not be trekking and pilgrim. There's not going to be a mass pilgrimage to Baker Hot Springs.
There may be. Say it again. I don't think everybody caught it.
But paint the scene for people that are listening.
Paint the scene.
Yeah, what are we surrounded by?
We are
If you've been here, I'm
surrounded
sure you're laughing.
by a very large, open, sage, brushy, tumbleweedy looking, I don't know, would this be a plateau?
No, baby, this is a valley.
Valley? Well, very, very wide open space. Sorry, I turned away from the mic when I was describing it because I was looking at it. I was taking it in, so if I trailed off, that's why. Looking straight ahead, we've got these hills that are full of lava rock. And to the sides and behind us, quite a distance away, we are surrounded by big, beautiful mountains that are quite a ways away. So it's pretty open. It's the Dixie Chicks. It's wide open spaces.
Wide open spaces. Yeah.
So it is absolutely beautiful. There's only right now there's only one other person here, but as it is, there's only a couple of other people here. So
Yeah.
we don't have it to ourselves, but we only have it with a couple other people. So
Who tend to keep to themselves from the sound or from the looks of it.
Yes.
So this wonderful, beautiful place is out in the middle of nowhere. And
Oh, did I not disclose that well enough?
You
Did it seem
did.
pretty populated from my description?
It's in the heart of downtown Salt Lake City. But it's a natural hot spring that comes up out of the ground. And way back, what did we decide, like in the 30s or 40s or something like that?
That's what we decided. I love your face. I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm sassy.
Do you remember?
I don't, but I'll look. You said
don't have to Google.
Why not? I like the Google. Google makes me happy. I
Back
like
in
answers at my fingertips.
1943, in the fall of 1943, people pilgrimed out here and found natural hot springs bubbling up out of the ground, and they built stone baths. What was it? Tell me it's 43.
Well, it might be. I just happened to hit on reviews, and somebody wrote, almost stepped on a poop near the pools, and some locals were getting in a fight. So we've missed the flood, apparently.
We missed the action. But somebody way back in the day built cement baths in the ground. Basically, they're just, it's like a little swimming pool. It's an in-ground swimming pool, but they're tiny. They're just like the size of baths for like one or two people to get into, and they've got steps going down into them. And they built these way back in the day to funnel the hot springs into, and then running right along conjunction right next to the hot springs, there's also just natural water that comes up out of the ground that they have kind of funneled over to the hot springs. So you have a influx of super hot water that is coming up from the earth and super cold water that is from the earth as well. And you can mix and match.
Mix and match?
Yeah. You can throw sloppy towels that are dirty and nasty and have been left out here for the past 15 years over the hot spigot. And it's not a spigot. It's a divot in the cement. You can adjust the temperature of your personal bath by throwing a dirty towel over the hot or opening up the cold or whatever the case may be. So it's a very remote area in the middle of nowhere, and it's not in any way, shape, or form some kind of legit hot springs. But
the water is not for drinking, by the way.
Is that a Google review as well?
Yeah, well, no, it was like bring your own drinking water. So that cool water that comes in is not culinary.
That's strange. I would have really guessed. I did ask you that question earlier. I'm like, do you think we could drink this cold water? See, now you got lost down the rabbit.
I do. I can't find it, and I'm getting mad.
Google rabbit hole.
They're like, hey, skinny dippers, beware, because people in the nearby town like to come and visit quite a bit.
Yes.
No, I'm not finding it. We'll just have to find it later.
1943.
Okay, hold on. Now,
but it is remote, and it is one of those places that you can skinny dip.
Outdoor project. Is it a skinny dip really though? Because isn't it classified?
What would you call it?
Well, for me, if I think dipping, It's going to be like in a pool or a lake or something that you can actually swim in. So I don't think it's a skinny dip. I think it's a skinny soak.
The skinny soak?
And I don't know where the skinny's coming from. It's a chunky soak.
It depends on who's out there.
It's a chunky monkey soak. Is there like feel-good chemicals in there? I'm pretty giggly.
Yeah. I think it's just the endorphins.
Is it because of a nicking?
Yeah, because we went some skinny soaking.
In
conjunction. So when we arrived, there are some dirty hippies from back east that are...
Because we are not dirty hippies.
We aren't dirty hippies.
Now we know better.
Well, we're clean hippies from out west. These are dirty hippies from back east. But there were people already here who were enjoying the hot springs in the Buff. And rather than...
I gotta give up. I'm sorry. We'll have to look later.
I'm having a conversation with myself here.
You are. You're doing beautiful.
But rather than what, like, ruin their vibe, or we just chose to strip down and soak as well. And it's nice.
We planned on doing it anyways. We just don't plan on doing it with other people. So.
Yeah. This isn't our first time out here. What is today, though, babe?
Today is our anniversary.
Yes.
No cold feet. Pretty happy.
Yeah. No cold feet because of the hot springs.
Yeah.
Yeah, today is our anniversary. And
fourth anniversary.
And this is what we're doing. We are currently
skinny soaking
in
some hot springs.
And taking a short break from the hot springs to record a podcast in the back of the van.
Except for me, who is stuck in a rabbit Google hole.
That's what I told you. Like, put it down.
Don't sit there.
We'll just wait for silence.
No, don't just wait. No.
Are you trying to find when they were
Yes, and I can't find the correct verbiage because I stumbled across it once, and now I can't find it.
There was somebody's blog about it. It was some blog post from like the 90s or something where somebody wrote about...
this was frustrating.
Well, baby, we don't need
History. That's the word I need to look for. I couldn't find the verbiage. History.
You were searching under geography and math, English.
No, I just started getting downright redneck, and I was like, how did this get to be? History. Okay. Western mining history.
This is going to be a long rabbit hole.
Just you keep talking and I'll look.
But periodically we have a nice breeze that blows through the windows and you might hear it on the podcast.
That was the breeze. Now my connection isn't going.
So put your phone down, baby. I don't care when they were founded.
But now it's a mission.
We're on a mission from God. We met a guy.
You should talk about that.
Oh, God. That's so funny.
Yes.
So there's a couple people here, like we said earlier, and one of them has been trekking across the country on his bicycle. Now, that's what I thought initially. I'm like, oh, that's super cool. And then we'd start talking to the guy, and it kind of turns out that he's not trekking across the country on his bicycle. It kind of turns out he's a homeless man that rides around on his bicycle.
Aww.
Which is kind of the same thing, depending on how you look at it. And he's incredibly sweet. But he's a talker. He's one of those guys that if you ask him, tell me more about your bike, then
thank God
45 minutes later, you'll have a really good understanding of the bike as well as his mission from God to spread world peace. It was really funny. Baby, I'm going to take your phone from you.
I can't find it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Blogger Adam Haydock. Let's see if Adam knows the information. I found a blog. You said it was a blog. Oh, you're cute. You're getting frustrated with me. I'm just going to take my time.
But we made the mistake of, I don't remember what I asked this guy.
You didn't ask the guy.
What did you ask him?
I said, how did you start on, what made you decide to ride your bike across country or your journey or something? I don't remember. I said something very
we asked him how long they had been here.
Insightful and considerate.
Like, when did they get here? And they got here yesterday. And then
you asked that one.
Yeah, the guy informed us that he rode his bike here, and it was like a 92-mile ride that he took yesterday to get to here.
Yes.
Which is impressive. Mm-hmm. And he is an older gentleman.
Yes.
My guess is he's probably in his 60s.
Not a good researcher. Like, I'm not listening to Adam's blogs anymore. We're done. I'm putting my phone down. Would you say
he's in his 60s?
Yes.
Yeah. What? I'm sorry. I was having a conversation the entire time. I was in the middle of a podcast while you were Googling to try to come up with the fact that they were founded in 1943.
I never found that. I can't discredit it, but I can't prove it either, so whatever.
Anyways,
sassy
old man biker dude has been traveling the world, spreading world peace. Did you need something?
I was just thinking I'm going to eat the crackers now to make you upset.
Did you like his story?
Yeah.
Where did he lose you?
Oh, you're going to make me sound like a jerk.
Why?
He didn't.
When did you check out?
When did I check out? I don't know. I checked out. So I wasn't really paying attention of this is the moment I checked out. I was like, Well, was watching his sparklies, so I got onto that, which helped keep me centered.
Why don't you tell people what the hell you're talking about when you say watching his sparklies? But before that, I'm talking about checking out first. Before that, I was checking out because I tend to glass over a little bit, and I try not to, but I tend to glass over when somebody starts talking about, makes me sound like I don't know. I tend to glass over a little bit when it starts to talk about God, Jesus, and he said Christian and Christianity and like why it's, I don't even remember. I quit paying attention to that. All the answers are in the Bible.
And so that tends to, like, I hear that and I understand that to have that belief and to have that faith for them is very, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. It's love. When they share that, I know they're sharing love. We think we feel the same. It's just all the same thing, a different name, however. But everybody's talking about something that they connect with, they resonate with. It's powerful and meaningful to them. And when you share that, you share love. So I try and hear that. But sometimes it's really hard because there is a lot of conflict and confusion and upsetness, we'll say, that I have around organized religion and all that. So that's where I got kind of lost. It was still a great story and it was still there, and I had to just but then, I don't know, I got a sunburn on my back from it. The sun was in my eyes, and so like I'm trying to keep eye contact with this guy. You're staring off into the space, and I'm trying to keep, be nice, and meanwhile, I don't know. Yeah. It went a while. He
had us for a bit.
He did.
He had because we were both watching his aura for a while, and that was kind of cool. It took me. This is where people tune out. They're like, I know, but I wasn't even looking for it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I saw it. And I'm like, oh wow, he's got a pretty nice bright aura, and that's cool. I mean, clearly he's in a place of love, and he's happy, and he feels like he's on his mission to spread world peace and ride his bike and meet people and have all these cool experiences. And my favorite part was like, only 2 beers a day. That's it. Well, not every day, but only 2 beers a day. And I'm like, that's sweet. Yeah, that's good. 2 beers a day. I like that.
And his cigarettes.
And donuts.
But if God decides that he doesn't want him to smoke anymore, he'll take away the money for his smokes, and then he'll be grateful.
There you go.
I don't know.
That's a good way to look at it.
It really is. I don't know. It was like, maybe he's not giving you money for smokes. Maybe he's giving you money for an apple. Like, and you're just buying it on smokes. Like, maybe.
Well, all of his apples go to the weed because he uses the apples to smoke the weed.
Well, we should give him an apple then.
And some weed.
I don't have any weed. I have an apple. Do you have any weed?
No.
No, you don't even have an apple.
I smoked it all out of the apple.
You did not.
It sounds like I did now.
It does, and you're like, dude, I don't have any. This is how it be.
Yeah. What else, baby?
What else?
Yeah. I mean, we could sit and talk about, I believe his name was Dan.
Or Dell.
Yeah, we're going back and forth. That's how well
we'll call him Big D.
Big D.
What up, Big D?
What else?
I don't know. You asked me when I checked out. I think you checked out of my answer.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I love you very much.
I love you.
We've had some fun episodes as of late that I think if people would have listened to them, maybe, I hope people realize, I'm sure they do. I feel like I was obviously saying way more in my head than I was saying out loud.
Not obviously.
We've had some difficult episodes as of late, and I think people that are listening may think that I don't know what they think. I wonder if they think that we have a strained relationship or a difficult marriage or something like that. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, no, because I think every episode we end with, I love you. No, I love you. No, okay. I love you. So I'm pretty sure people don't feel that way.
So we started this one with like Catch Me Outside. So
How about that?
how about that?
You know, I listened to Dr. Phil on Rogan it was like several weeks ago, a month and a half ago.
Dr. Phil made it to Rogan.
Yeah, and they
Really?
talked about that girl,
What girl?
that Catch Me Outside girl, because she was on Dr. Phil.
Wait, I thought that was a song.
It is a song by a girl.
I thought it was a
who-
guy.
No, she was on Dr. Phil,
Okay.
and that's how it became a thing. Somebody made that into a meme, and then that girl is now like quote unquote famous, even though who knows what the fuck for or why.
Because she said, Catch Me Outside.
Not because she said catch me outside, because of, I mean, that was her catchphrase, but because she was,
No pun intended.
I know it's really original, but because she was like a character on this episode of Dr. Phil that kind of blew up into something.
Oh. Was like one of those like Teen Moms or something things that he does. I don't know. I haven't watched Dr. Phil.
Troubled teenager.
Haven't watched him for a
Yeah,
while.
my teenage daughter's out of control. Help me, Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And she definitely played up the role of, I'm a crazy, out of control teenage girl. How about that?
Catch Me Outside. I did not know that backstory.
Yeah,
I
but Dr.
feel
Phil
like my
talked
life
about
is
how,
completely enriched now.
like,
Thank you.
he was very much, they were just trying to help these people.
Yeah.
And after a while, it was apparent that they were very much just using the opportunity to, you know, become famous.
Well, looks like it worked.
Using their 15 minutes of fame on Dr. Phil.
So if we come up with a catchphrase, we get on Dr. Phil.
What would our catchphrase be, though?
Well, we don't have to think too hard, apparently.
Energy
Let's
is
see.
love.
No, that's a good one. We have to have something that's like stupid so it spreads.
Energy is love.
Bitches.
We are goofy. That's silly.
We're in a good mood.
Yeah.
It totally sounds like we're stoned or drunk or something, and we're not.
Yeah, we're really not.
What is that? We're Wim Hofing it, even though we're not. We're high on our own supply.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe that's it. We did some breathing.
I think that water's just got a bunch of good stuff in it.
So good. And what have we not had for so long? Just the sun soaking in our skin.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Sun and
So,
relaxation.
Totally high off of nature.
Disconnect.
And not
relax.
Yeah.
Chilling in our van.
It's so good. I feel so good. I'm so relaxed.
Me too.
I'm going to say so a few more times to really prove my point to drive it in. Maybe that's our catchphrase.
So.
So. Can I make fun of so say we
You can if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm going to. You made fun of me on another podcast, so.
I think that episode's coming out soon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it because he's not only your podcast buddy, he's also your friend?
What are you talking
That
about?
was the cheesy line that I got all messed up and laughed about, and you got mad and won't watch that show with me anymore. You still haven't. It's been like, what, 2-3 years?
Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, you've kept to that. I made fun of one cheesy line. I laughed. He got mad, said we weren't watching it anymore, and he has held true to that little bit of a grudge. I really upset him about laughing at Battlestar Galactica.
You didn't laugh at it. You made fun of it.
I did make fun of it.
And it wasn't at a funny spot where you were supposed to laugh.
Was.
No.
It was the
It's not
cheesiest.
a fucking comedy.
I love you. I'm sorry. Okay, let's change the subject. You're cute. You're scratching the back of your neck. You're
'Cause I have
totally
an itch.
irritated. Oh, wow.
Itch.
Okay, we should move on. Let's move on. So
Anyways,
I don't have to ride home with the crazy, dirty hippies.
Did you have any
No.
questions for me?
About why are you so upset over me laughing at Battlestar Galactica?
Do you have any other questions?
Nope, that's it. That is on my mind 24/7. I need to
Besides
know.
Battlestar Galactica?
Inquiring minds need to know.
How have you been?
How have I been?
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Things are going so well.
Things are going well.
How have I been? Processing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing good. Relaxed. Kind of hungry.
Me too.
Yeah.
Should we stop and just eat dinner?
I'll see some crackers while we're recording. I know you'll love that. I'll chew away from the mic. It'll be fine.
I was thinking about this before we started recording. You should talk about belly dancing.
What do you want me to say?
Well, I think you should probably give some context for why I just said that.
Because you like to come up with random things to talk about. Like just a minute ago, you're like, hey, do you have any questions for me? You should talk about belly dancing. It's just, this is the inside of Craig's brain.
Tell him.
I take a beginning, very, very beginning, very, like, I'm surprised I'm not dancing with preschoolers. It's so beginning, belly dancing class.
And you enjoy it?
Oh my God.
You like it?
I like it. It's fun. It's awesome.
What was the impetus for you to take it?
What was the impetus?
That's not the correct word. That is the one that I used, but it's not the correct word.
Well.
What was your reasoning behind it?
Well, first of all, a girl I know is in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds so fun, so amazing, and so brave. I would love to be that confident, to be able to get up there and move and just like feel that and like go like that and feel good enough in my skin. So I was like, I told her, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That sounds like so much fun. I wish I could do that. And then kind of let it go. And then they opened up a beginner class and she's like, hey, you know that thing you wanted to do? Do you want to go? There's a new class and it's pretty affordable. So I was like, okay. So I went. So I stuck to it and it's super fun. And I like hanging out with women. Like being with a bunch of women that do nothing but support each other. So I like that. I like that. I don't know. I guess it would kind of feel like you would, like one might think you would go into it and have it be a competitive thing. And but it's not. Like there's another girl now. At first I was the most like, it's a beginning class. However, I was the only beginner in that class. Like all the other girls go to that same school, but they go to different classes. And so this is somebody that's in the performing groups and she's new to instructing and starting her class. So they were going and it's a fun class. It's super fun. But I'm thinking, here we go. Beginners, we're on the same level. And she's like calling out all these dance moves and like ripping through them. I'm like, oh shit, I don't know what any of this is.
What's a belly dance move?
You can say an ami or a toxeme.
A
We'll say a toxeme.
That sounds like something that would come back in your blood work.
Okay, we'll say a Maya.
I'm sorry, but you have a high level of toxeme.
It's because it's poison.
What is a toxeme?
It is a very deadly move. And if I show you, you're just going to be overloaded with.
Can you describe it?
Yes. So, okay. So, I get the Mayas and the toxemes back. The Maya's the top, the bottom. Toxeme is bottom to top. Okay. So I think I've got it right. But you start with like a hip drop. So you're standing straight and then you drop your hip on one side and like it kind of like scoops out and comes up to a hip pop. So it's like if you take your hip way low and then swing and bring it up so it's up on top, and then your other one and you're kind of swinging alternating sides. So if you start on your right, you drop low, pop it up to the top, and then it swings kind of like a figure eight in a sense to where it's popped down on your left side, and then you bring it up to the top. So kind of just a back and forth. I'm sure they'll be asking me to teach a class any moment now because this is the most detailed description and all of you can go out there and perform that completely. And it might be backwards.
Is it way more, not necessarily challenging than you thought it was going to be? Because my guess is it is more challenging than you thought it would be.
Yes, it is.
Is it more like in depth than you thought it would be?
Yes.
Like I would not have guessed that there would have been moves. I suppose if
have
I
you
think
seen Shakira?
Yes, but I thought that it would have been more like just figure out the rhythm of this, that, or the other. Not necessarily now we're going to perform a toxeme followed by a Maya and then a Angelou or something.
And then there's different styles too. So once you get that, different styles move it slightly different. So whether you're doing like the lotus thing, there's so many different things. So it is beyond, I've barely scratched the surface. And I don't know. It's a lot of fun. I love it. Love school. I only have experience from one dance instructor, but she's pretty awesome. So I'm happy that I got to go there and I love it. It's fun. It's so much fun.
Well, I'm glad you're going.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to actually watch some of the dancing of the belly at some point. We'll have to do a live podcast.
Nope. That's not happening.
I also want to talk about your Wim Hof.
My Wim Hof.
Yeah. Not your Wim Hof. He's not yours.
He's not?
But your experience with Shelley Shelley, do you remember her?
Mare.
I don't know. I can't remember her last
It
name.
means like, what was it like more love, big love, not like.
Yeah, something.
But
like
it was
that.
something like really like beautiful love. It was a really super cool last name about love.
So first off, we had Shelley on the podcast, but
Why? No, I'm sorry. You cannot. This is not going to be a podcast where you're asking all kinds of questions about me. Why are you asking so many questions about me?
because I want to know.
Well, you got to talk too.
I'm not asking you in sign language. People can hear the words that are coming out of my mouth.
No, you're not going to distract because you're busy thinking about this big retreat that you're coming up and you don't want to talk about all your big plans, Mr. Man. So you're going to turn the hot seat on me.
It's not a hot seat.
Flipped it around. Now what you going to do?
We're actually
Cash
very
me
full.
outside.
I do not like that catchphrase.
Oh, it's on now. It's either that or I'm going to drop meta bombs.
Do you not want to talk about the Wim Hof thing?
I do, but I also want to hear you talk too. I don't want to talk the whole time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
talk about the Wim Hof
I
thing.
will. After.
Well, right now, in this present moment in time, baby, I am so fucking chill and relaxed and happy and silly. And I'm at such peace right now, sitting in the back of our van. Like, it's dirt and sagebrush and dead trees. And, at first glance, this doesn't look like anything majestical or beautiful. But it's pretty special. And it's peaceful and it's quiet. And I'm feeling very, very relaxed and very, very happy. So a lot of the stress that I've had as of late, a lot of the things that I have been dealing with, struggling in, thinking about, all that kind of stuff. It's not really weighing on my mind right now. I'm feeling pretty thankful and grateful for where I'm at right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I was thinking because you were feeling so good and all that when you were talking about it, you would be able to, especially with like recent realizations that.
Do you have a specific one in mind that you think would be beneficial to talk about? I shouldn't ask that in such a silly way. Last night at men's group, the guys that are there, the guys that sit in the men's group who do such a wonderful job of helping and supporting me, I was really stuck and struggling in this dynamic of helping men and what it really means and what I really do, not in the sense of like I don't feel like I do anything, because I do. I feel like I have a really natural skill set in regards to helping people connect and experience deep emotion, and I'm really good at it. But I struggle in what it is I struggle in getting lost in the space of being judged by other people and judged and concerned with what other people are going to think or how they're going to perceive me or how they're going to view me. And I get super lost in that space, and it's super frustrating, and I can really spin out into that kind of self-destructive space of hating on myself to a certain degree. And that's kind of the space that I was in last night at group. And one of the guys there made it really, really simple. He kind of broke it down and spoke few words and basically solidified it to me in the sense of, he's like, can it just be that you like to help people? And when he said that, like this happens all the time, right? It doesn't happen all the time, but there's this space where you start to feel massive amount of emotion and you're connected to your emotion, but you're also kind of lost in your head and you're trying to process through some things, and you can feel the energy or the emotion of what you're feeling, but you're not super connected to it. And you're battling back and forth between your head and your body, where you can feel what's coming, you can feel the weight of it, you can feel the intensity of the emotion or the experience, but your brain is still trying to put it into a box and make it fit and articulate it and understand it so that it somehow makes it easier so that you don't have to feel it or whatever the case may be. And that's exactly the place that I was in. I was like deep in this emotion that I was feeling and experiencing, but my brain was battling to like take control so that I don't even think it's necessarily so that I would stop feeling what I was feeling. I think it's like the brain gets stuck in routines and patterns itself, right? If we look at the brain as kind of this separate entity, your brain just gets stuck in the same pattern and routine. And my pattern and my routine for my brain is, let's just overanalyze and overthink everything to the umpteenth degree until it's pure chaos. That's what you have designated us to do. And so it was stuck in that pattern. And he was like, can it just be that you like to help people? And in that moment, those words that he spoke to me cleared out everything from my brain. And I was able to drop deeper into the emotion that I was feeling. And I stopped kind of talking. My brain immediately went silent. It was like the off button for my brain. My brain just went poof, complete silent. And I just was overcome with this emotion. And so I start crying and just really lean into it and feel it all throughout my body. And then I'm like smiling and I'm happy. And I look over at him and I'm just like overcome with all of this, like pride in him and happiness that he shows up for me, and gratitude and love for him. And just like, I even told him, I'm like, man, like I fucking love you so much, because he does that a lot. His name's Mike. I don't know why I'm not talking like, ooh, he's actually been on the podcast. I was thinking too that we need to have Mike on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to do an episode with just him. But that little tiny sentence was enough to just clear everything out and make it super simple for me. And I like helping people. It's just super basic. I like helping people, you know, and I help people in a lot of different ways, and I have the ability to help people in a lot of different ways. And I like all of those ways, but the way that I'm like really passionate about and the way that I'm really good at is helping people go deep, helping people really experience deep emotion and peel back massive layers and get to some of the core truths of experiences and emotions, and then just simply sit there with them, why they feel them. Hold space in raw vulnerability. And I like helping people that way. So yeah, that's kind of a cool thing that happened to me lately. It wasn't a Wim Hof experience, but
Oh no, it was
pretty profound.
You know how we were talking about how
You got to rotate.
Sorry. Oh, I was trying to block the wind. It was coming through. That's why I moved like that. I was trying to be like that shield, you know. The things we were talking about earlier was like perception. Like you have people that want to see it a different way, but they're so stuck in their head and that one thing. And so they're like, they keep playing that out and they're like, yeah, I know that it's another angle, but I just can't see it. And so it's like, that's kind of like what you were doing with that in a sense, even though it wasn't a different angle you needed. I guess it was just a shift of perception, because you took something that had been playing in your head so much that you had like classified as a challenge, and then turned that challenge. You heard it from a different voice in a different direction. And that very thing that has been your challenge, in a sense, that you felt it was an obstacle, you heard as the answer. Like, I can't even think of how many times I've heard you say, I just want to help him. I just want to help him. I just want to help. And he's like, hey, what if you just want to help people? And you're like, no, there it is. Like, you've been saying that. But it cracked me up. And then, I don't know what you're saying about how you overthink it. Have you seen the meme that's like, if you're happy and you know it, overthink? That's what cracked me up.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, it was.
Why am I so happy?
Oh
my God, I got to think about this. I got to figure out why this happiness is here. So then that way I can hold on to it longer so that it doesn't go away. In the meantime, my brain will just go crazy thinking about Well, I'm happy. Get you a little bit of sunburn.
Burn. Look at, I'm pink.
I know.
Do I have?
We bought that sun lotion or that sunscreen for nothing.
Well, I didn't think we were going to stay over there that whole time. We did not buy it for nothing because next time I go out, I'm going to put it on my nipples.
I don't think your nipples are sunburned.
I don't know. I'll have to look.
Yeah.
I don't know. They do get sunburned? Have you ever had a sunburned nipple?
Probably.
Can't think of it?
Probably.
I can recall my sunburned nipples. Do you know why? Because women aren't around, or like they don't get sunburned nipples as often as men. So when all of a sudden it's like, oh, ho, ho.
Well, no, men don't get sunburned nipples as often as women because.
Oh, did I say that backwards?
Yeah, because our nipples are usually out more.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Apparently, that's not what I said.
Which is so silly.
Oh my God. Okay, speaking of me saying things backwards than what I meant, thinking my husband has my back. I want to take a little tour back to Tequila Colada.
Yes.
For one.
Rewind a few episodes if you haven't listened to Tequila Colada.
Okay. And when you do, disclaimer, because...
Oh my God, there were so many disclaimers in that episode.
No, there's really only one disclaimer.
You and Janelle spent like 15 minutes be like, disclaimer, we're drunk.
Well, I said something that I did not... It was one of those, I said it backwards. And we were talking about massaging clients and how at times they fart. And it's usually when, and then it came out and I don't know, I somehow said it to where like, I don't know if I said I fart on them or no, I was trying to say they always fart when like you're going up the leg or something. So your face is right by the glute, which by the way, if it happens, we just move on. It's not a big deal. If you try to fart on us, it's a thing, but not if it's an accident. It's totally fine. But I said, I always fart on them. And when I heard it, listening back, I'm like, oh, shit. I cannot believe you didn't edit that out. And I was like, oh, he must not have caught it. He would have not aired a podcast where his wife's saying she's farting on clients, clearly, so nobody else will catch it. And then I get a call from Janelle and her husband laughing at me and being like, oh, you always fart. And so Chad's like, is that extra? Like, and they tease me about it all the time. So for anybody. I
definitely did not hear that.
Well, everybody else did that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think anybody would notice. And she's like, no, everybody's going to notice and hear that you fart on your clients. I do not do that. Okay. I was drunk and I said it wrong.
Disclaimer, Stephanie does not fart on her clients. That is not a thing.
Damn it. And I don't know. I was embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because,
Yeah, but luckily it's not a big deal because you were just drunk.
I was drunk and farting on people. But
disclaimer, that doesn't really happen either.
Well, who's to say, right? Not during a massage. Or the drinking.
You don't fart on anybody ever, babe.
You're right.
It's not a thing you do.
Well, I don't, but now I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is, I don't know. It's so funny. I have farted on Asher, though. Like, it was you should probably not air this part. It was a payback.
No, keep talking about farts. It's podcast
It's because
gold.
I'm nervous. God damn it. I'm nervous. Whatever. My aunt almost died.
Your aunt?
She did. She went out into the ocean and it was like a red flag day or whatever. And she had to pee. And it's like, whatever.
What's a red flag day?
I guess it's like a strong riptide or a current. That is, the current's too strong. The undertow's too strong. So you can't go out. And she's like, it'll be fine. I got to pee. And
so she goes out into the ocean to pee?
And was totally getting like yanked back and would start to get close to make it to the beach and would grab her and pull her back out. She had to have somebody come save her. She could not get out. She was getting dragged back. She's like, but I made it out. So she almost died from having to pee. How about that? I'm glad you're alive, Aunt Jackie. I love you.
Is that the subtle but not real subtle subject topic change?
Yes, we changed it. Thanks for drawing attention to it. And I didn't like breach any security because I learned that on Facebook. She posted it on Facebook, so it's totally fine that I put it out there.
It's public info.
It's public info already. Those were her words. She said that.
She
and then
said that.
I said them back.
So, are you ready?
Nope. What
to share your experience with the Wim Hof method?
But I just talked again. It's your turn again. Back and forth. Pass, give, pass, give.
Puff, puff, pass.
Let's see. My experience. Well, I'm hoping that we get to do more.
By the way.
I know it sounds like it. It really does.
It does. We keep referencing.
Oh my God, my ear itches. So it was amazing. You can go back and listen to the. Oh shit! Pull out my eyelashes. go back and listen to the episode with Shelly and get a little taste of what it's about. So I'll skip all that. I won't recap. But what happened was super incredible. I ended up doing the private session, and I'm so glad what?
No, that's good.
No, you're going to say something.
Oh, tell me what about the interview with Shelly and learning about not just connecting with her and kind of feeling her in a sense and getting a sense of who she was, but as well as the Wim Hof method. What about that appealed to you? What about that was like, yes, please?
Well, it was before she came on, because I knew she was coming on the podcast. And the only thing I knew about her is that she was, the first instructor in Utah who happened to be a female. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I didn't want to sit there like a, paperweight or somebody that's like checking the mic, make sure it's on. I wanted to have something to talk to her about. And I didn't know. I just wanted to know a little bit about it and my opinions on Wim Hof himself and the I didn't have what's wrong. Oh, it's Stevie. Can I grab it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like a public service announcement for when she looks gorgeous. But you should never have gum in your mouth when you are on a video phone, especially when you've got a brand new hairdo. So you're looking at yourself, because she was popping that gum. That's cute.
Okay. Wim Hof.
Yeah. So I didn't have a very high opinion of it. I thought it was, I don't know. It sounded like some macho man trying to prove how macho he is. And look at me running in the cold. Look at me climbing Mount Everest. I almost died, but not really, because I've trained my body. It just seemed like junk. That's all I knew of it. So I knew it was a thing, and you did ice baths and you trained. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds fantastic. I'm sure that's a thing. Meanwhile, I'm always cold, wrapped up in 50 blankets in the middle of summer. So I just wasn't interested, but I wanted to be able to carry on part of a conversation with her about it. Just a little bit, just enough to shows like, hey, I care about what you're coming to talk about. I'm going to have a little bit of information on it, so at least I can have an educated conversation with you. And I listened, I don't remember what it was, but I listened to some podcast with Wim Hof himself, and he was describing his journey in a sense, and going over what he's been able to accomplish, the studies behind it, what science has basically, he didn't say it this way, but that's how I kind of got it, is that everybody in science has kind of viewed it the same way I did. So instead of looking and trying to prove for him the ways that this is happening, try and help prove him right, they used him basically as a lab rat to prove him wrong. And he's like, okay, do this. And he's just blowing their tests out of the water left and right. Everything that he's doing, they're he's changing their mind on. So listening to him, my jaws drops, and I'm excited to talk to this chick because I want to hear all about it. And I'm pretty fascinated and want more information. And then you talk to Shelly, and she's kind of incredible, and you want to hear everything that she has to say anyways. So I loved her story. I loved her journey, her take on it, and I wanted to experience it. And then I got, because with what I learned through the podcast with Wim Hof, what I heard on that was your physical strengths and what your body can really do. And I heard the benefits of it that way. And what she spoke to is, yes, there is that, but then I got the emotional healing that takes place, the rebirth, what happens inside your emotional body as well as your physical body. And so I was very excited to do it, but I wanted the private one because so much came up, and I'm so grateful that I did that. I'm excited to do another one as a group now though, because I want to feel that group energy. But the private one that we did was amazing because she was just amazing, and she allowed for whatever needed to take place, whatever fears came up, and fears came up. She just allowed for that space beautifully. It was so wonderful that I learned so much about myself in that moment. And it wasn't like, oh, I didn't know that was hiding there. It was like, okay, I knew that was hiding there. I didn't know how to face this, and here are these things coming up. And it was a safe space. And when it came time to it, I was so afraid. I was so afraid. Death was coming up for me so much that I thought I was going to die. I was so afraid. And when it came time to it, once the decision was made, it was time to move. And I remember freaking out because all I had is a towel. I had a swimsuit on, but as a towel to go outside. And that day it was below freezing. I think it was 26 degrees or something outside.
Yeah, snow on the ground.
Snow on the ground. Yeah, it was
Whole
like
nine
the
yards.
very beginning of February. It was a freaking cold day. And like when we had originally signed up for it, I was all, oh, it's going to be fun. And then it hits me like, wait a minute. Shit, are we doing this outside? Like, hold up. I'm going to have to get out of the ice bath and be outside, like to even be outside and be that cold and then have no clothes and then get, swimsuit, and then get into an ice bath and then get out. I'm going to die. I'm going to totally die. So I was scared. And then I even talked to her about, like, what happens if I freeze? What if, like, not frozen because I've been there so long, but it's like, what if I freeze, my muscle seize up and I can't get out? And so she's like, I'm strong. I'll get you out. And I was like, because like, if I can't get out myself, we can't wait for like the fire department. We got to make this happen. So I was super scared. And we talked about that. And there was part of me that definitely I feel like did die in the ice, but that's not as like morbid. Nothing of me was injured. Nothing of me is necrotic. It was just an emotional part that I needed to let go. And then when I got in that ice, in that water, like I was very, very present in my body. I didn't think about anything else. I was very, very, very present in my body. It was so cold, and the sounds that came out, and she's right there and she's coaching you through it, and you just allow the process to happen. And then it took a switch because I did get in my head at a part of it. She's walking me through, and then I got right into my head, and I was like, oh my God, it's cold. It's as soon as you get out of that and your brain starts to click on like, hey, dumbass, what are you doing? Then it got super, super cold, and I remember being the stubborn person that I am. I'm like, I think I need to get out. And she's like, okay. And I was like, wait a minute, what time? Because she asked beforehand if I wanted to know how long it was going to be or if I just wanted to get in and go. And I wanted to get in and go. I didn't want to know the time because I didn't want the time to psych me out. I didn't want to have any. And I'm like, wait, did I do it? Was I in for the whole time? Did I do it long enough? Did I do it? I'm not getting out if I didn't do it. And she's laughing at me and she's like, no, you did it. So then I got out and it was like 2 minutes and only a few seconds, but I don't know. It was so awesome. But then when I got out into the freezing weather outside, it felt like my skin was on fire. Like it felt so hot outside. And so she's working on warm up because it's not like warming up as you're cold. It's you're trying to get your muscles moving again to get the blood, the oxygen back into your extremities because everything goes to your core when you're in an ice bath. So everything's leaving that and it's keeping your central organs. It's like that flush of that. So you have that super nutrient rich that's just coming in and flooding your organs to keep that because that's what needs to stay alive in, the ice in the cold. So it's just those little movements to warm your muscles back up to get them going, to get the blood flowing back in. And like, I was so surprised that I could get out of the ice. I could feel the heat. There was so much heat. And she's like, there's heat in the cold. I'm like, you're crazy. No, there's not. There's cold in the cold. But there was so much heat. I was so warm. And I felt like a beast. I felt so powerful. I felt invincible in that moment. I thought there's nothing that I can't do. I felt on top. Oh my gosh, it gave me so much confidence. I don't even know how to, like everything. I just felt so able for anything. And then we're doing this. We're standing outside for quite a while. It's starting to not be as hot, but still really hot. And then I went for a walk in the snow, sopping wet. Haven't grabbed my towel out of the ice bath, standing outside in the water. And I'm like, let's go take a stroll in the snow. And my feet could handle it. Everything was fine. It was amazing. And I remember laughing about my towel because I was freaking out about like, wait, I'm only walking out with a towel? Like, what the hell? This isn't going to work. I need to walk like a parka, like robes. Like, where's a polar bear that I can crawl in that's going to take me out there? I mean,
give me the hot towels fresh out of the dryer.
And the towel, I'm laughing at it because it's sitting on the deck and I don't even need it. I used the towel as a courtesy going in so I wasn't dripping on her floor when it was finally time to go in the house. And that was my point of the towel. It was amazing. So much happened. She was so sweet. It was such an experience, the whole thing, not just the ice bath, which was profound, but just being there with her in that setting and her allowing that space to be what it needed to be. It was such an amazing experience. I loved it. So I'm excited for more.
What do you think was one of the biggest releases for you in that experience? Maybe you don't necessarily have like, a clear picture of what it is, and it could have just been a release, right? Mm-hmm. Could have just been emotion, could have just been whatever, and we don't need to define it or label it or, put it into a box so it's easy to understand. But do you have Do you have that by chance? Do you have the box that makes it easier to understand?
I have some of the box, yes. And I had some of it then, but it's unfolded to where even though it's the same thing and it's unfolded to a deeper level, I see it more intensely now, even though it's always been pretty incredible. Like I get frozen in fear a lot because my history is when I'm afraid of something, it's usually been for just cause. And the things that I fear, the things that I experience were very, very painful. And so when something comes up that is going to scare me, it's really hard. And I will hesitate a lot with things if I'm afraid because I'm not ready for that kind of pain. I don't want to do that. And I feel like that holds me back on things. And so I've been playing with fear, not really realizing I was playing with fear, kind of like I was playing with the elements, not realizing I was playing with the elements. And one of so many things happened, the confidence build, but what I got from that immediately was I was afraid that was going to kill me. I knew it was going to be this pain that I couldn't handle because cold makes me hurt. Seizes up my back. Everything hurts. I'm miserable when I cold. I talk about how I feel like I'm cold in my bones. I can't get warm. And then I just don't feel good. I'm tired. Like cold does not. So shying away from something that I know is going to hurt. I know is going to make me feel like crap. Am I ever going to get warm again? And oh my God, I'm probably going to die because it's an ice bath and I'm going to die. So just like being able to get into that and then achieve it for just the fact that I stepped into that ice bath and then I submerged. And she's like, your hands are one of the hardest to get. So you can even leave your hands out the first time, or you can put them on your legs and have them in the tub. So of course my hands were in there with me. I was going all in. So I climbed in, I stayed in. When I was ready to get out, I was like, I'm getting out unless I didn't accomplish this time, in which case now, hell no, I'm not getting out. And then that power that came out. So I stepped into it. I stepped into my fear. I volunteered for my fear. I stepped into my fear. I stayed in my fear and I emerged out of my fear, and it didn't kill me. It didn't hurt. I emerged stronger and more confident than I was getting in. So that alone is worth it. It was pretty amazing.
It sounds amazing, babe.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
We need more, huh?
Oh, yes. Lots.
Yeah. We're going to get an ice bath for our backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want one.
It's really easy.
Yeah.
We can totally do it.
I really, really want one.
Yeah.
Because, I really want one. Really bad.
So I was thinking as you were talking.
Yeah.
Out of all the experiences that you've had, because you and I both have shared in some experiences together. We both had some experiences separate. But like out of all the experiences, what I mean you had this experience, right? The Wim Hof thing. You walked on fire. Even like other experiences that... Skydiving.
Don't diminish that.
I'm not diminishing it, but it's kind of in the context of like... experiences in the space of spiritual connection, deep growth, like sound baths.
You didn't think that happened in the skydive?
Yeah, it did, for sure. But do you have one that you, like your favorite?
I knew you were going to ask that. I was trying to prepare my answer, but I don't, because they have all been extremely, they've all been their own experience and have had incredible outcomes. So much has happened in that they're all my favorite in their own way, kind of sense. Like maybe if I sit down and dig in about it, but I can't. The skydiving was incredible. It was amazing. It was beyond, it was something that I've always wanted to do and never was brave enough or whatever, never happened. And then you surprise me with it, and then we do it, and then we did that together. That's so special to me. And then, the firewalking was just a bonus that was still super cool and that still had fear, because there's definitely, that's a part of my history. Definitely have some things wrapped around fire.
Your history isn't firewalking.
No, it's not. fear of fire, but being drawn to fire.
Yeah.
So my history is not, no, I do not have history as a fire walker.
My great grandparents were the original fire walkers.
Such a jerk. So that venturing out on my own was in its own an amazing thing that I am so glad that I experienced, because I experienced leaving on my own and going and, I don't know, exploring the desert and just having this amazing thing that ended with fire walking and then another fire walking and then signing up for fear and being vulnerable. I didn't know this girl, and I chose to be completely vulnerable with her in that space. I didn't hold back. I didn't sugarcoat my fears or my anything. I was like,
talking about Shelley.
Mm-hmm. I was like, this is me. This is all of it. This is all my fears. This is everything that's coming up for me right now. I'm not holding anything back. I was completely vulnerable with her. I let everything come out. And that was like, oh, that was alone and it's scary. And at one point I yelled at her about it. I'm like, wait a minute, you're that person. I'm usually this person. You're that person. Oh my God, I need to stop talking. And then I went back into it, but like it clicked what was happening. I'm like, I know what it's like to be on the other end, not on this end. And it was just so weird.
Yeah.
It was so weird because like I share like that with you, you know, like not even, I don't even know. There might even be things. It was just like, hi, stranger, here's my deepest fears coming out. That doesn't happen. So I showed up. I completely showed up. And then so did she. Because had she not, I wouldn't have opened up. I wouldn't have went through that space. So she showed up just as much as I did. And it was amazing. So I don't know. I don't have a favorite. They're all really, really, really amazing.
Yeah, they're all experiences that led you to where you're at, right? They all showed up when they needed to show up. You experienced them when you needed to experience them. All that kind of jazz. All that bullshit that we talk about.
My husband threw me out of a plane to get the ball rolling.
I did not throw you.
You volunteered for me to go first.
Yeah.
So technically he wanted to see if her chute opens,
that was the
then
biggest
I'll
act
go.
Of love.
You're right. I probably would have lost my shit, not been able to handle it if you went first.
No, that was none. That had nothing to do with it.
What's that then? What's the biggest act of love?
Because
is making sure my chute opens?
Because if I died and you didn't, like if I jumped first and my chute didn't open and you realized that,
I'd have fucking saved you. I would have Mission Impossible Tom Cruise swan dived, got you, tucked and rolled. I would have saved you. So that was a dumb move.
So
that wasn't an act of love.
That's why I had you jump first.
Oh my God, what the fuck? So you were planning on dying?
No, I was not planning on dying at all. I was thinking about you and the eventuality that is a possibility. Mind you, you sign a waiver that you may die.
You also sign a waiver for the Wim Hof too.
Yes. And
I'm not going skydiving again. You're not going skydiving.
We're totally going skydiving.
You just said that you thought you were going to die, so you sent me first, so I didn't watch you die.
Exactly. I didn't want you to watch me die.
I wouldn't have. I would have saved you. I would have saved you.
Yeah. You would have.
I would have.
You would have grabbed that tiny man on your back and dive bombed like they do in the movies.
I would have.
Yep. It would have happened.
It would have. I don't want to talk anymore. You just killed my buzz vibe.
Because I wanted you to go first.
You talked about not having me see you plummet to your death. So suddenly I'm not in a great mood. I wonder why.
Kind of a big act of love.
I'm going to cry now. I'm really sad.
Oh, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not minimizing your emotions.
That's exactly what you just did.
You're very correct.
Yes, I am.
For those of you just listening, she gave me that look. I'm sure if you are in a committed long-term relationship, you know exactly what look I'm talking about. It's the look that I'm going to be getting the rest of the evening.
Oh, I'm so sunburned.
I know I am too. Should we go get back in the
no, I'm not looking at
hot
you.
springs?
No, I don't know. Do I need to walk first in case you trip and fall to your death? You don't want me to see that shit? Like, what the hell?
Don't look, baby. I'm going to trip.
Oh, I'm kind of sad.
Don't be sad.
You can't leave it on that note because I'm totally sad.
Okay.
Like, make it happy. Say something happy.
How about that? Catch me.
Keep trying.
Catch me outside.
Keep trying.
Catch me a frog outside. How about that? Frog catching.
Okay.
I wish there were
Kinda
frogs
cute.
here.
I do too.
Do you remember the first time we
The
were in
yurt?
our yurt in Colorado? We have a yurt that's not really ours. It's an Airbnb yurt, but don't go look for it because you won't find it because we don't want anybody else staying there but us. And there was frogs at night.
There was what?
Frogs. Frogs at night.
No. You can't say frogs like that. You have to.
What did I say?
Frogs.
Frogs.
Frogs. You were croaking with your frogs.
I wish there were frogs out here.
Yeah.
But we got the pretty birds.
Should we have pretty birds?
Should we leave the listeners with a... There we go.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. What are those birds called?
They're Tweety birds.
No.
Mockinjays.
Meadowlarks?
Yes.
Maybe?
Meadowlarks.
No, that bird that has that song, that sound, that's a very specific bird.
Yeah, it's a whistle while you work.
No, these are all
I
not
don't know
birds.
bird names, and I don't know how to Google that because I can't even figure out what happened with Baker. So Google is not my friend. I'm like, hey, Google, what makes that sound?
You're cute. Let's go get back in the hot springs.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Hey, I was feeling all emotionally. Happy anniversary. And you
I
make fun of
know.
my I love you.
I made fun of it because we talked about it earlier.
Oh, God damn
How
it.
we end every episode with that. No. I love you.
Did we when we were fighting?
I
didn't listen to that one yet.
I don't
Were
remember.
we I love you? Well, probably weren't I love you.
I love you.
No, I wasn't angry. I was sad.
Yeah. I think we did still.
Yeah? I don't know.
Through it all.
I love you.
I love you. Another year.
You love me another year?
We have another year of marriage.
That's it?
No, we have plenty. Oh my God.
You just like, are we okay, maybe. All right, let's renegotiate next year. Let's see where we're at. Are we going to do this another year? It is not an anniversary. It is a contract negotiation time period. Let's see, motherfucker, how you play this year out. Cash me offside.
Okay, let's go soak.
All right, I love you.
Let's go skinny soaking.
Let's go skinny soak.
I was in the middle of a podcast while you were Googling.
I'm going to drop meta bombs. If you're happy and you know what, overthink.
Oh, wow. He's got a pretty nice bright aura.
It felt like my skin was on fire.
Energy is love.
Bitches. No.